So I'd like to welcome you to Love Notes. This is your Friday night ritual in the Passion Zone. I'm Allie Theiss. I'm here for an hour of stories, songs, and deep soul reflection, right? It helps to remind us how love feels when we stop overthinking and start feeling. So I have a poem here from The Dream Keeper by Langston Hughes. Bring me all your dreams, your dreamers. Bring me all your heart melodies, that I may wrap them in a blue cloud cloth, away from the too rough fingers of the world. And this poem kind of reminds me of an invitation, a reminder that love and tenderness are safe havens from the noise outside. Tonight, we're exploring the quiet magic of touch, how a single gesture can speak volumes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Alex. So nice to see you. Hello, hello. Waving. You guys who are listening later on can't see me waving, but I am. Um, I'd like to welcome you to Love Notes again. Next Friday, which is what, the 24th? It's 17th is today. Yeah. Next Friday is October 24th. And I will not be here for an episode of Love Notes. I will be in Michigan at the Maria Shaw Cosmic Convention. If anyone's in town, I'll be talking about love, my favorite subject. I'll be helping people with love, and I'm giving a talk Friday, so the 24th, from 3 to 4 p.m., I do believe. And it's all about how to set up your bedroom for love, whether you are in a relationship or you want to attract one to you. That's what I'm talking about on next Friday, the 24th. So if you're in Michigan, in Saginaw, Michigan, it's at the Sheraton Four Points on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of next weekend. Stop in and say hi. Say, hey, Allie. I listen to Love Notes. It'll be great. You and I can speak for a while, and yeah, you can come to my talk on Friday. It would be wunderbar. Absolutely wonderful. I hope you guys are doing okay. This week has been kind of rough, energy wise. Um, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and not a lot of it is well, is good for our soul, right? Is good for our heart, and that's why I do love notes. I do it once a week. Of course, it's a couple times in October when I don't. Um, and I do it because there isn't enough love going on in the world. There is a lot of fear. There is a lot of hate. There is a lot of pessimism. And I am not an optimistic, woohoo, sunshine girl. No, I'm not. Although I tend to look at the bright side of things quite a bit, but I am also a realist. But because of what is going on in the world, it may be difficult for love. It could be difficult for you to find love, for you to feel love for yourself, or if you're in a relationship, for your partner, your spouse, your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever you would like, whatever label you've given them. Because when we're bombarded 24/7 with stressful events and news, our cortisol levels raise, right? The cortisol is our stress hormone, and it rises on up. When it rises on up, kind of reminds me of moving on down from the Jeffersons. If you're my age, you'll remember what show that was. But anyways, as the cortisol goes up, our brain kind of goes into what I call a panic attack, and it shuts down anything and everything that may harm you, otherwise known as anything outside of you is shut down. So you don't feel like reaching out to other people. You don't feel like being intimate. You don't feel like being close and having deep conversations. You don't feel like it. You want to be left alone, maybe wrapped up in a blanket, um, watching your favorite movie. I don't know. We all handle it differently. But your brain's trying to save you with your cortisol rising. Because when our cortisol levels go up as high as it is for just about everybody on the planet nowadays, it wreaks havoc with our bodies. It interrupts our blood flow. And I hate to tell you this, if you want to be intimate with somebody, you need the blood flow, both men and women. You need the blood to flow in the right places. Okay? And you need your brain not to be on lockdown, which is what happens when your cortisol is up. Okay. You have to find a way to de stress. Do this for yourself, do this for your partner, do this for love. You have to find a way to get that cortisol down. Whether it's eating different foods, I'm not saying go vegan unless you want to, but it's all about eating correctly, getting in some nice fruits and vegetables, from the actual fruit and vegetables, not drinking the juice. Okay, lowering your red meat consumption, lowering your carbohydrates, lowering anything that can possibly get into your arteries, into your veins, and slow down your blood flow. Because while your brain is your number one sex organ, and it is, everything goes through there, you need the blood flow for arousal, both men and women, okay? Or whatever fluid, whatever it may be that you want to call yourself. If you're human, you need blood flow. Is that simple? You need blood flow, and you need your brain to work together. And I'd like to welcome you to Love Notes. Hello, Kim, Samantha, Angie. Nice to see you guys here. Thank you so much for stopping by and giving me a listen to. I hope you tell your friends about this. The more people who listen to Love Notes between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern Time here on TikTok, is the more people who will stop by and talk about love. Thank you for joining us, Kim. Great to see you. Um, it's really, and that's what this show is. It's about love. And yes, is it about romance? We talk about romance books. Yes, we do. Do we talk about romance movies? Of course we do. Do I give tips on love and romance? Oh, hell yeah, I do. But what else do I do? I play dedications. And we're going to go to our first dedication of the evening. Now, if you would like to give a dedication to somebody you love, lost, maybe never took a chance with, if you're on TikTok, please go to my profile, click the link. It'll take you to my link page. And with that, with the link page, it'll show you what the link you need for making a dedication. Okay. And this first dedication is from Jordan to his girlfriend. And they write, "You leave lipstick on my coffee mug every morning. And I must admit, I'm a tad bit annoyed, but honestly, it's my favorite part of the day. I know I sound kind of sappy because we just started dating, but it's when you do that, it's like leaving a tiny love note before I've even opened my eyes." And the song they want me to play is Electric Love. And I think the name of this group is called Borns. Not entirely positive, but I think that's what it is. Let me turn off the podcast recording right now. I don't know why. I have such a difficult time hitting them all. Um, again, that was Electric Love by, I think you say the name Borns. Again, not 100% positive, but I think that's how you say it. Welcome to Love Notes. Those of you who are just now joining us, great to see you here. You just missed the first dedication of the evening, but go ahead and list your dedication, and you can find that from the link in my profile on TikTok. If you're listening to this the next day via podcast, you're going to find the link you need for the dedication in the show's notes. And why do I push dedications? Why do I think it's important? I'll tell you. I'm glad you asked, Allie. Um, I think it's important because when you think of somebody, when you put that energy out there for someone, for a split second, you pop into their mind. Now, in order for you to linger longer than a second, they have to know who you are. Okay. They either have to have had a conversation with you, been in a relationship with you, passed you on the street, mayhaps. Um, but there has to be some type of recognition for them. So when you make the dedication, I read it out loud, I play the song, all that energy goes to them and you pop into their mind. All right. I can't stress enough how important that is because when you pop into their mind, they have a choice. They can either think about you for a little bit or they can just completely ignore you popping up into their mind. Um, but the fact is, you get there. All right? You get there. So whether it's somebody you still love, somebody you lost, somebody you never took a chance with, they're going to think about you for a split second. All right? That's why it's so important. Now, back to the song. I just had to say that. Back to the song. It was Electric Love by Borns. It's got an O with a line through it. So that's why I don't think I'm saying the name right. RNS. I don't know what genre, Alex. I never heard of the song before until this person requested it. Um, but it is kind of nice. It kind of reminds me, kind of like hippie like. That's what I think of. I think of the 1970s and the 60s with that song. And I rather liked it, so I'm going to add it to my I'm going to add it to my playlist personally. But with the dedication as well, if we reflect back on it, uh, he was dedicating the song because he likes the fact that his girlfriend leaves lipstick, a mark of her lipstick, on his coffee cup, which would annoy a lot of people. But for him, although he may be slightly annoyed, he loves it because it's like she's giving a little gesture that she's in love with him. Okay. And it's really the little things in life, the little gestures, the little comments that get through to the other person how you feel about them. Okay. With her lipstick on the cup, it's kind of like, hey, I was here and I'm leaving part of myself behind. I'm thinking of you. That's what it reminds me of. So if you're listening live here on TikTok, go ahead and drop an emoji in the chat and let me know. Has that ever happened to you? Has somebody ever left something behind, like lipstick on a coffee cup, to let you know that they care about you? I'm curious. Let me know. Something else. Let's move on to the romance book spotlight. And I'd like to thank my menopause brain for for skipping letters in a word. So it comes out completely not how I had planned. So the romance book spotlight this week is Before We Were Strangers by Renée Carlino. Carlino. And this is a story, well, it's about timing, really. Timing, connection, and rediscovering a love that somebody thought was lost. And it does remind us that the heart doesn't forget, okay? It just waits for the right time to make the move. That's why you can find yourself finding somebody new or falling in love, whatever the case may be, when you least expect it to happen. When we least expect something to happen, we do not have any expectations along with it. And if we do not have any expectations, then our energy cannot interfere with the flow of the moment. And that's really what expectations do. It interrupts the flow of the moment. And I can't I can't begin to tell you how many times that has happened to myself, to clients, um, that the expectation of something totally backfires the experience. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever expected something to happen, had expectations for something, and instead it turned out to be complete and total crap? Nothing went according to your plan. Nothing went according to your expectation. A lot of movies are built on that, isn't it? Um, you know, uh, you see a lot of movies where somebody is expecting somebody else to propose to them, and they go to the restaurant and thinking they're going to get proposed to, and instead it's either a breakup or other news that they were not expecting. So their expectation of the events unfolding actually interfered with what events were going to unfold, if that makes any sense at all. You got to jump in and look at energy as a whole in order to get a handle on stuff like this. But if you do a Google about aura, okay, what is an aura? AURA. What is an aura? What is a person's personal energy field? And there are plenty of websites that will pop up to explain it to you. All right. But I suggest you give it a go. Okay. Because you want to avoid expectations. Um, Yeah, Legally Blonde. Very good. That actually was the one I was thinking of when I mentioned the example. Did she not? She was 100% convinced that she was going to get proposed to in that restaurant. She did not get proposed to. She got dumped. And she took it in stride and went and became a lawyer in the movie. So I do love Legally Blonde and Legally Blonde 2. They're both excellent movies. Yes, it did help lead her down her path. Um, but expectations when you have them, there is a client I have, and I've been talking to this individual for years, and he is totally completely in love with this person, and things are going great. Things always go smoothly well until until he puts an expectation out there. And as soon this has happened repeatedly over years, so it's not a fluke. When he puts the expectation out there, everything falls apart. Everything. And then they have to rebuild brick by brick by brick, but it happens every single time. So please have an expectation that you hope everything goes well. And then that's it. Not that you have a certain outcome. Maybe that whatever happens and whatever you're going to do is for the highest good of you and them. Something. Something other than you expect an X outcome. All right? Going with the flow is the best thing. And I love romance books. Um, real life isn't like the books. I know this. And I've known this. But isn't it nice to be swept away with romance every once in a while? Hmm? Isn't it nice to step in to somebody else's existence just for a little bit, just so your heart remembers what it feels like to love, to desire, to be desired, that tingling sensation you get when you're looking around for somebody and you catch somebody's eye, they're watching you, and you're just like, holy crap, who is that? Right? Um, I think about that stuff from time to time, and since I do deal with relationships and love and intimacy in my work, that's what I do. Um, I can't help but be drawn into it, either through reading a book or watching a movie, or through my clients' stories. Anyways, this is why I this is love. Love is a wonderful thing. It and the old adage, and when I got divorced, I told this adage it can kiss my ass, quite frankly, but it said better to have loved than never better to have loved and gotten hurt than never to have loved before. And I thought that was the biggest line of BS when I heard that. But it in hindsight, looking back at my life and looking at me now, it's 100% true. It is. So, welcome those who are coming here to Love Notes. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us, if even for a blip second. Um, for everyone who stops by, for everybody where there is love, okay, we're putting a good vibe out into the world, and that's what I want. We have to counteract the shit vibe that's out there. Because, come on. Um, that's why I'm doing this. All right. And that said, let's move forward to our second dedication. Now, if you would like to make a dedication for an upcoming Love Notes, the link to do so is in my profile. If you're on TikTok, click the link. It'll take you to my link page. You'll see dedication. Click that link and just, you don't have to fill out the whole thing. You can fill out, give me an initial and what you want to say to them. If you don't want to pick out a song, I'll pick out a song. If you don't want to leave any words, but you just want me to play a song, then that's fine. Do that. I don't care. I'm doing this for you. All right. Um, and if you're listening, the podcast version the next day, the link for this is in the show's notes. Okay. Now, the second dedication of the night is from Miguel to his wife. And he writes, "You are the calm in the chaos of my life." um, every time you grab my hand, I remember who I am. Thank you for being my anchor in this chaotic storm called life. And the song he asked me to play is Sea of Love by Cat Power. So if you just give me a minute here, we'll get this song going. That was Sea of Love by Cat Power. I have never heard that version before. If you are Gen X, we heard this version back in the 80s. Robert Plant and somebody else was part of it. All I can remember is the guy the guy in the Speedos that was in the music video. Yeah, and there's no more MTV for those of you who are Gen X and grew up with music videos. MTV is no longer ever going to play another video again. And oh, you've never heard of the song? Yeah, put the song in Power of Love, and then put Robert Plant afterwards. I could have sworn it was him that was in the song with somebody else, but I can't remember who the other person is. Um, I just remember the guy in the black speedo and laughing at the guy in the black speedo because I'm thinking, why? Why is he in the speedo? It has nothing to do with the song, unless you, I guess, equate the sea with water and the speedo with swimming. That I don't know. Um, but with this, Miguel was talking about holding hands, right? Grabbing hands and touch. The simple act of touch can ground us faster than words ever could. Um, unless you're outside and you're hugging a tree. But that's still touch, right? When you're holding somebody's hand, when somebody's hugging you, their hand is on your arm, maybe, it's kind of like a bridge, right? That says, I see you, I'm with you, and I'm here. If you've ever if you've ever had that kind of touch that just grounds you into the moment and you're live here with me on TikTok, drop an emoji in the chat. I'd love to see it. All right. But yes, dedications. I would love it if you would make some dedications for the following weeks. Next Friday, as a reminder, I will not be here. I will be in Saginaw, Michigan at the Maria Shaw Cosmic Convention. And yes, I will be talking about love. I will be talking about love. And in fact, I'm going to be talking about how to set up your bedroom for love, whether you're in a relationship or you're looking to attract one. That is my talk I'm going to be giving next Friday. I think it's from 3 to 4 Eastern Time in Michigan, Saginaw, Michigan, Sheraton, 4 Points. I'd love to see you there. And if you do stop by, if you do say hi, let me know you watch Love Notes. Or you listen to Love Notes. I'd love to know who stops by and gives me a listen too. And hanging out here with me and Alex. It would be great. It would be great to hear from you. All right. So the next thing we're moving forward on, well, what time is it? Okay. We're doing good here on time. Is I like to call this the desire drop. All right. And the topic tonight is the power of physical presence. Not being physical with one another, but the act of being physically present someplace. All right. In my she be me model, when it comes to intimacy, touch is something that bridges the body and the energy pillars, the B and the E, the B part. When we touch somebody consciously, when we reach out and touch them, whether it's holding hands or you give them a kiss on the forehead, or maybe you just give them a gentle squeeze of their upper arm, their bicep. Whatever it is you're doing, you're letting them know you're there. Okay? I'm here with you. I'm present with you in this exact moment, which in this world where our attention is easily swayed because of the I can view it now culture and I can get it now culture, where we're either on our phones or we're streaming something or we're playing, wonderful video games. Hell, I'm back from the Atari generation. That's how far back I've been playing video games. So I love video games. I am a gamer. But we get so caught up in the different technology type things that we do that it can be difficult to be present with our partner, to be present right there in front of them, and to have a conversation with them that does not involve a phone, a TV, or a computer or tablet. That's why it's important, with this desire drop. If you want to reunite connection, the next time you reach your partner, place a hand over their heart for 5 seconds. They may look at you like you're nuts, but if you're standing there and you're touching them and you're putting your hand on, over their heart, and I know the heart's over more, but you can put it in the center of their chest too, depending. Um, just sit there, just stand there. No words, just energy. Feel their heartbeat. Because and I hate to say this, but someday that heart's not going to beat. We cannot get out of this world alive. We all die sometime, all of us. Our soul continues on, but our physical body does not. And with that, with putting your hand on their heart and just feeling their heartbeat, you're feeling their life force. You are supplying them with love. You're supplying them with energy, and in returns, they are to you. Okay, hopefully they'll stand there while you're doing that. Um, if you've ever felt closer, um, with somebody through a meaningful touch, uh, drop me an emoji in the chat if you are with me live here on TikTok. And if you're listening to this the next day or maybe this evening, maybe you should drop by on TikTok live and say hey and drop me some emojis. I'm liking them. I'm liking emojis. What's it saying here in the chat? Yeah, people don't know how to be without their phone nowadays. I will never forget the time I couldn't find my phone. This was back when I was driving a school bus. If you can believe I ever drove a school bus, I did. God forbid. And I could not find my cell phone anywhere. I went into full blown beyond panic mode. I mean, stick a fork in me, I was done. I was a crazed bus driver. I didn't have any kids on the bus, but I was looking for it. Back at the bus garage, I looked everywhere for this stupid phone. I had the mechanics on the bus looking for this stupid phone. Couldn't find it. It wasn't in my car. It wasn't on the bus garage, the parking lot. It wasn't run over by a bus, thank goodness. but I couldn't find it until I did. And when I did find it, it was in the bus, and it wasn't a spot that I'll be damned. Nobody knew how it got there, including the mechanics, poor mechanics. Um, but my thought was, my entire life's on this phone. My whole life is on this phone, and now it's gone. And isn't that sad? I thought to myself, isn't that sad that my whole life is on this phone? My whole life shouldn't be on this phone. My whole life should be with the people I'm around, right? Their contact information should be in there. The definite. Not that very many people use their phone for an actual phone anymore, but and right then and there, I made a deliberate choice to, while I do still go on my phone. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't, but I make a more deliberate attempt to have conversations with people. And if I can have them in person, even better. This weekend, this weekend, for those of you who are Gen X, and especially female, we used to have slumber parties, did we not? Um, Slumber parties, get together some good food. My slumber parties always included a scavenger hunt. But this weekend, I'm getting together with a bunch of girlfriends, and we're actually having an adult slumber party. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. We've all made a pact that it's no phones. We are all bringing our phones, but we're also going to put them away. Uh, we will have moments where we're allowed to check our phones to make sure nothing important or extravagant, something's going on at home. But it's just going to be us hanging out like we did in high school, which I am very, very grateful. There's no proof of anything I ever did. And I'm sure every Gen Xer thinks the same way. Um, yes, I did set up scavenger hunts. We had scavenger hunts at every one of my slumber parties, and they were a blast. They were a blast. What we did is for my slumber parties, we would team up. We'd have, depending on how many girls were there, be two or three people. Oh no, we didn't have a scavenger. We're not having a scavenger hunt this weekend. What we're doing this weekend is consuming things that are not good for us. So, since we are all menopausal, we shouldn't be drinking alcohol as much, and we should not be eating all the snacky foods that are no longer good for us, including deep fried stuff. And we're doing all of that this weekend, along with a weekend, I think, of scary movies, which I will probably spend most of my time under a blanket peeking out like a 2-year old, um, because I scare easy. I know. It's sad, isn't it? Uh, but yeah, it's so the weekend's going to be tomorrow night's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's been 40 years, over 40 years since I've been at a slumber party, so this is going to be a good time. All right, moving forward. Yes, we are. We're going to move forward to our third dedication of the evening, and this one's from Elsie, and they write, "We never got the ending I wanted, but every time I hear our song, I remember how it felt to be seen for exactly who I was, and thank you for that." This song is Someone You Loved by Louis. I can never say his last name. Louis Capillardi. Capillardi. All right, let us play this. Wait, I love that song by Louis. I don't know if you think it's a good song, but I do. I think it's a wonderful song, and it's nice, isn't it? Isn't it a nice song? Um, it it kind of reminds us that even bittersweet love leaves a trace, doesn't it? Bittersweet love can teach us what we need, what we survive, what we still hope for. Drop me maybe a cloud. Do we have a cloud with like rain emoji anywhere? If we do, and you're live with me here on TikTok, drop me one of those in the chat if you've ever looked back and smiled through the ache. Because let me tell you, we have all had the ache at one time or another. Isn't that the truth? Goodness. All right. So The romantic movie for tonight, and I absolutely love this movie. I've watched it a gazillion times, it seems, is The Notebook from 2004. Now, of course, the movie The Notebook is based off the romantic book The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. So if you've ever watched the movie, maybe you should read the book, which is also very good. But The Notebook is a wonderful love story that's built on persistence, memory, and the kind of passion that refuses to fade. It reminds us that real love, real deep soul love, endures, even through the arguments, even through silence, even through the major chaos that is life. Have you guys ever watched The Notebook? It's one of my favorites. Anybody watch it? Anybody have thoughts here that are joining me here on TikTok? Um, no, no thoughts. You haven't watched it? Well, 2004 is 21 years ago, so it's been a moment since it's been out. Um, but it is an absolutely wonderful, deep, soul-hearted movie. And there are certain parts in that movie where, no matter how many times I see it, I still cry. I know a part's coming up, and I'm like, you can do it, man. Don't fade. And it happens to me every time. So that's a good thing. It's interesting because the female, her name's Allie in it, and the part that Ryan Gosling plays, how he looked in the movie back in 2004 is how I have two ex-husbands. How my first ex-husband looked back when we were in school, but my ex-husband was a bit bigger. He was 6 foot football player, so very broad-shouldered. Anyways, he and I fought like he fought like the people in the Notebook. Um, but we still had a really good time together, just like those two do. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. Hope you do. And while you're at it, and if you're thinking about it, if you're here with me live on TikTok, please share the show with your friends. Don't be shy. Let them know that you're here, you enjoyed yourself. I hope. Maybe you learned something, maybe felt something, I don't know. But with learning or talking about love and everything that goes with it and sharing it with your social groups, hopefully more people will come here and want to talk about love and to spread the love, which I think is, again, vitally important nowadays. All right. I am curious though, and then I'll stop talking about the Notebook. Would you wait for the one you love if it took years to find your way back to them? Would you? Would you not get married or have a boyfriend or girlfriend or a partner or spouse or whatever? Would you wait for that person, even if it took years to get back together? Or would you just say, the hell with it and move on? I'm curious. Um, I've been known to wait. I haven't waited in a very long time, but way back when, um, 18, 19 years old, I definitely waited. In my 20s, I waited. When I hit my 40s, it was just F no. But that's me and based on my experiences. I'm curious about you. Okay. You in love, would you wait? Kind of like Ross and Rachel. That's what it kind of reminds me of from Friends. Would you wait? Think about it. You don't have to drop me an emoji in the chat if you don't want to, but I'm curious what you think. And for those of you who are listening later on, send me an email, allietheiss@yahoo.com. Let me know because I am curious if you would wait. So let's go for a quick fire tip of the evening. The 20-second hug. Science shows, and it does, that hugging for at least 20 seconds releases oxytocin. Yes, oxytocin. No. Oxytocin. There we go. Which is the bonding hormone. The longer the embrace, the calmer your nervous system becomes. Hugs are like wordless I love yous, okay? And make yours last long enough for people to feel it. I know when I went to my high school reunion a couple weeks ago, there were lots of huggings, and I loved every single one of them. They were absolutely wonderful. Um, Hugging's just nice. It shows that you care and that you're happy to see somebody. And everybody could use a hug because nobody, believe it or not, I know this might be hard to take in, but nobody's an island. We, we need each other, whether we like it or not. Okay? All right. So let's go for our last dedication of the evening, shall we? This last note comes from Erin in Phoenix to her partner. You're the reason I believe touch can heal. Aw. One hand on my back and the whole world goes quiet. Isn't that nice? I love that. I love that for them. And they want me to play Gravity by John Mayer. So let me find it. All right, that was Gravity by John Mayer. And that was from Erin to her partner. What a wonderful way to round out this evening, don't you think? Um, love can be kind of heavy, right? But when it's right, it grounds us instead of pulling us under, which is just wonderful. And I'd like to thank you for the roses and all the hearts and all the wonderful things that you handed out here for me here on TikTok today. Greatly, greatly appreciated. And just a reminder that next Friday, the 24th, I will not be here for an episode of Love Notes. I will be in Saginaw, Michigan at the Sheraton Four Points for Maria Shaw's Cosmic Convention. And if you are there, stop by and say hi to me. And don't forget my talk on Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. talking about how to create a bedroom for love, whether you are with somebody or you're trying to attract somebody to you. And always, please comment and share this live. We only go from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time right now. I'm hoping the more people who show up, the more dedications that we get out to everybody, the longer the show will be. More dedications, longer show. Just that simple. So I'd like to thank you for joining me here tonight at Love Notes. We've explored the language of touch, the playful, tender, healing, and the unforgettable. And if you'd like your story, your favorite love song, or maybe a romantic confession featured the next time we're here, which is 2 weeks from now, submit it through the Passion Zone, a link in my bio. And if you're listening to this, the podcast version, it is below in the show's notes. With the exception of next Friday, join me every Friday for Love Notes, where romance, reflection, and soul deep conversations take center stage. Until next time, my loves, may your weekend be filled with gentle touches and love that lingers long after the music fades. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.